Hey everybody, Josh Sigurdson, World Alternative Media here. And way back yonder in the 18th century, a man named George Washington, you may have heard of him, stood in a field of hemp. Interestingly, another man who was, I'd say, somewhat close to Washington, named Thomas Jefferson, also grew hemp. Hemp didn't get up out of the ground and start killing people or turning children into degenerates. As a matter of fact, it was likely the most used and useful tools in existence, a plant that could grow fast and strong and lend its properties to countless industries. Within months of being planted, hemp can be used to create paper. I'd say that's a bit easier than waiting up to 30 years for a tree to be harvested. But I know that's not all that impressive. Okay, let's look at some other uses. Fabric, textiles, and rope, fuel of all kinds of food, essential oils, natural, durable plastics. It can replace wood, foundation walls, shingles, paneling, pipes, and paint in the home. There was a time when many farmers were forced by law to grow hemp to aid war efforts. So what happened? As we see the push to federally legalize hemp in 2018, why on earth was it illegal and shunned from society when indeed it has been one of the most useful plants in the world for more than a millennia? Let's rewind to the government monopolization of Standard Oil. Some may say Rockefeller's Standard Oil owned the government, but moreover, it was a group effort, and how do you get a better deal than to choose an organized crime racket that stole the hard-earned money of the subservient populace as a partner? If you're wondering if I'm talking about government or Standard Oil, both would be accurate. With the Standard Oil monopoly on production, Henry Ford was pressured to use petroleum products. Remember, Henry Ford is the guy whose first Model T was built of hemp and built to run on hemp. A man who in 1941 created a plastic hemp car and urged spectators to take a sledgehammer to it to show how incredibly strong it was. But alas, most industries were pressured to stay away from hemp and opt for oil, and we saw a basic takeover of industry by petroleum giants. Hemp was still legal, but regulations and taxes began suffocating the industry. In 1937, the hammer came down. A bunch of control-freak bureaucrats got together and devised the Marijuana Tax Act, which made the transfer or possession of cannabis illegal outside of medical and industrial uses, which cost an arm and a leg to get around. This led to an excise tax on all sales of hemp. There were many attempts to stop the inevitable prohibition of hemp in the United States, including by former New York Mayor LaGuardia, but it was to no avail. People fell for the classic propaganda of reefer madness, that hemp and cannabis were the same, and the insane notion that either of the two would lead to rape, murder, and theft. The last major industrial hemp farms died off in Wisconsin in 1957. An entire industry was dead. The same industry Thomas Jefferson once said was, and I quote, "of first necessity to the wealth and protection of the country," was now punishable by prison. A miracle plant that could end with government henchmen with guns throwing you in a cage and ruining your life. What has come of it? Well, while the taboo surrounding cannabis has died down, we've seen Texas-sized barges of plastic in the middle of the ocean. The environmentalists feel this should be met with more regulation. Canada is dead set on banning plastic straws. More government control of free will rather than looking to the common sense alternative of the free market, flourishing without the problem, reaction, solution mentality of the state. The fact that those straws could be made out of hemp plastic and cornstalk cellulose. But no, we need carbon taxes. Obviously, to drive up literally the price of everything, extort the masses, and make the impoverished even more unable to feed their families. The counterintuitive nature of the government is to most of us suspicious at best. Almost like governments are creating problems in order to swoop in as a solution and find new ways to extort the masses and control the populace. Almost, hey? We've also seen under Prohibition the propping up of drug wars. Millions of innocent people go to jail. turned into hardened criminals or simply get their lives ruined. All the while, government ran guns into Mexico and other countries, funding and arming the cartels, all now declassified, including Operation Fast and Furious. I mean, it's so out in the open, they've made Hollywood movies about it. Then comes the word legalize. Now, don't be fooled, folks. Legalize does not mean freedom. Legalize is a legal term for government control. Basically, all legalization is a government taking away a right and giving it back at a price. And that price is extortion and regulation. The charade cannot continue, so they figure instead of the free market flourishing, they will control it. So now, we get to today. Senators Rand Paul, Mitch McConnell, Ron Wyden, and Jeff Merkley submitted a bill to legalize hemp, and it has passed in the Senate as part of a larger farm bill. Farmers are excited, and they should be. The bill still must be passed by the House, which has been vocally in opposition to hemp legalization. But the fight is not yet over. The prohibition in general must be lifted to see true free market prosperity. We should see a world where, by the hand of individual demand, the hemp market can largely replace much of the petroleum industry without the rug being pulled out from underneath people's feet. Where we can see employment in the industry rise like a rocket. Government always has another motive. Look at Canada. There's practically more prohibition under cannabis legalization than there was before, but people jump up and clap like seals without understanding a damn thing about it. We need to teach people that government isn't the answer. You as an individual are the answer. They banned a damn plant. Not just a plant, but one of the world's most useful plants under the guise of saving children and lives. Instead, they've dramatically hurt children's futures and destroyed millions of children's lives over the years, as well as created a beast that can only be taken out by the free market demand. Are they protecting you, or are they simply protecting themselves? That question indeed should be asked of the legalization as well. As Ron Paul once said, you need to smoke a street pole-sized joint of hemp to get high. Besides, who cares? Unless you're burning people with the burnt end, you are not hurting anyone and you should be left the hell alone. I hope you've learned a thing or two from this video, and I hope you rule yourself, do your own research, and learn to be self-sustainable, because they want us dependent. They want us subservient. The main mission of government is to lie, cheat, steal, murder, and enslave. That's literally their modus operandi. It always has been. Self-governance goes a lot further, and you know what works better than democracy? Voting with your dollar so that businesses are forced to compete for the best product at the best price rather than see these massive monopolies propped up by the state, restricting free will and good business practices. Stay tuned as we continue to cover this issue. This is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change. Like what you see here, OM? Don't forget to check the links below. GoFundMe, Patreon. We can't do it without you. Any donation is very much appreciated, especially as we are so overwhelmingly demonetized by YouTube as they bring in the ADL to flag all of our content as hate speech. Also check our Bitcoin address in the description as well as on the screen for you to scan if you please. And also check us out at Steemit at Josh Sigurdson, the future of social media, where you get paid in the upvote of your post in cryptocurrency, Steem that is. So don't forget to check us out there and find us at Anarchapulco 2019. I know it's early, but this is such an exciting event coming up with Ron Paul, Judge Napolitano, David Icke, Larkin Rose, Jeff Berwick, all the usual characters, and it's going to be amazing. So we hope to see you there. Make sure to check the link for Anarchapulco below and use promo code WHAM to save as much as 15% on your tickets. We hope to see you there. But until next time, this is Josh Sigurdson signing out from World Alternative Media. Find the truth, be the change.